Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tarot CelebriTEA with your boy Ducky. Today we are going to be reading Harry Styles cards along with Kendall Jenner's and Olivia Wilde's. So we're going to do that because some people wanted me to do Harry Styles and Kendall Jenner's reading. And then I also had on my to-do list that some people wanted me to also do an update on Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde. So I said, you know what, let me just do a video on that. You know, wham bam, doing two at one in one video. So let's get ready for the reading. First time I take drink some water. I just finished streaming and I was yelling a lot playing Dead by Daylight. Y'all, my voice, this is why my voice is always tired. All right, so remember y'all to take these videos with a grain of salt. And remember that these videos are for entertainment purposes because we do not have these celebrities here to confirm nor deny that what I'm seeing in the cards is factual or is pertaining to their situation or not. So just remember that while watching this video. So let's get started on Harry Styles and Kendall Jenner. So let's get started. What are Harry Styles' thoughts on Kendall Jenner's The Sun? Wow. Okay. That card already just boom came out super fast. Let's keep going. The Five of Wands. Okay. And the Page of Wands. Ooh. Ooh. Light. Oh, yeah. Nothing but love. Like Harry Styles is what I'm seeing, like with the sun and light here. Like they're just corresponding so well. And look at that. 19. Card number 19. Card number 19. Synchronicities, baby. I feel like Harry Styles believes that, you know, Kendall is just such a strong, solid pillar of light and hope and sunshine and joy. Um, and but he also thinks that like maybe there were some challenges, there's some like challenging things going on that happened with the Five of Wands here being represented. Like, look at all these people that are kind of fighting. There's some challenges. And with the Page of Wands. So there's a lot of fire here. There's a lot of passion here. I feel like Harry believes that maybe Kendall just has a lot of fire, a lot of passion, a lot of drive. Um, and so at, with this Five of Wands here representing challenges, and then the Page of Wands normally talking about, you know, being a young, ambitious go-getter. But in reverse, it could talk about maybe not being as motivated is kind of what I'm seeing. Let's see. I'm not too sure. Sometimes these court cards in reverse, I need to kind of refresh my memory. So a complainer who likes his or her own way, faithless lover, bringer of bad news, there may be reading or writing problems. I feel like maybe a complainer who likes his or her own way, reading or writing problems. Okay. So I feel like with there being challenges here, I feel like maybe Harry has a lot of like love for Kendall and like sees that she's such a bright light, but maybe like she sometimes likes to complain, tends to complain a bit, and maybe that was a challenging aspect because these are the cards representing his thoughts regarding Kendall. It could be that maybe he just sees that maybe although she's so joyful, she's so uplifting and whatnot, and has so much to be grateful for and abundant for. There are still some times that maybe some of the challenging aspect with her is that maybe she complains or whines a lot and wants things to go her way. Um, and with the vibes that I feel like with Harry Styles, he's more of like a cool dude, like go with the flow, like and it seems like maybe Kendall Jenner kind of just wants a little bit of things to go more her way, or if things don't go as she was hoping for or planned, it's easy for her to kind of get thrown off. So that's kind of the only thing that I'm really seeing that maybe he sees that could be a little bit of a problem. But other than that, like overall, just a lot of joy, light, abundance, which is great. So let's see what are Kendall Jenner's thoughts on Harry Styles. Eight of Swords, some restrictions. Seven of Wands. Okay, persistence. The Six of Pentacles in reverse. Huh. Respect. Oh. Yeah, I feel like this is interesting. In regards to this Eight of Swords, let's see which one's focus. There we go. So with the Eight of Swords, always talking about, having limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs. The Suit of Swords is all about our the air. Can I speak? The element of air with and in regards to our mindset. And this is all about restrictions, feeling restricted. So I feel like Kendall Jenner just thinks that Harry kind of restricts himself a lot. Maybe he needs to respect himself more is kind of what I'm saying, that she feels like he just needs to respect himself more, and not having such limiting thoughts and beliefs, because he is very persistent, tenacious, and he's had to kind of like show and prove people wrong, and he's been an underdog quite a bit. And so sometimes because he is an underdog, or he has been an underdog, maybe that like underdog mentality sticks with him sometimes, where he kind of feels like he doesn't give himself as much respect as he should. This is what I'm seeing in regards to what Kendall thinks regarding him. And this is even further magnified to me in regards to with the Six of Pentacles being here in reverse. Normally, the Six of Pentacles talks about being very giving, being very generous. But in reverse, it could be talking about like being overly generous, overly giving, that people take advantage of it. So it just seems that maybe Kendall Jenner thinks that he just needs to respect himself more and kind of say no to people a bit more. Like, he's just so limited in his beliefs and his thoughts of being like, all right, maybe if I keep helping this person out, they'll respect me more, or they'll like me more, or something like that. But I feel like Kendall Jenner, just thinks that like he just needs to respect himself more by saying no, and like fighting people off and being like, no means no, okay? Like, I've already given you too much. I've already given you a lot of attention, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what I'm seeing. Like, I feel like she sees him as like such a like a mountain, very strong, very tough, very reliable, as a person. But sometimes people just take advantage of him, because they know that it's hard for him to say no to things. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in regards to the cards coming up between them. But other than that, I feel like they're they think pretty good about one another. Just that Harry Styles believes Kendall Jenner needs to kind of not complain so much about things whenever things don't go her way or how she was hoping for. And Kendall Jenner thinks that Harry Styles just needs to learn how to stick up for himself, respect himself more, by saying no and fighting people off in regards to like whenever they want to, whenever they seek help from him and stuff like that. But I'm not really getting anything like any kind of like animosity or anything. Just, some things that from them getting to know one another, that like some things that they feel they need to work on, or the other person needs to work on. And again, these are just like what I'm seeing in the cards, and it also is just like their opinion of one another. But overall, everything seems great. Just We all got things to work on. For me, it's my irritability. Sometimes I can be a little bit irritable, and whenever I'm irritated at something or someone else, I might lash out and take it out on someone who's not deserving or doesn't deserve that backlash. So, we all got things that we're working on, and I feel like those are the things that they think one another needs to work on. So now let's get into Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde's reading. This is going to be an update because I feel like I did this a video on Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde a month ago or so. So let's do that. Woo! All right, so let's see what's going on with their current energy. So we're just going to see like a current vibe of both of them together. So let's get a current overview of Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde's energy together. The Page of Swords. Okay, so there's some good communication going involved, like some good, they're communicating more, which is great. The Queen of Swords. Oh, but there's still some like backlash. There's still some like harsh words being said to one another is what I'm seeing. The Three of Wands, and there's a lack of opportunity going on. There's a lack of just a lack of opportunity. Nature's imperfection. Yeah. So it seems like with nature's imperfection, this card talks about, we are all perfectly imperfect. We are all flawed. Just like I was saying earlier, I can be irritable. Kendall Jenner might sometimes always want to have her way or the highway type of thing. Harry Styles can be a little bit too giving, too generous. So everyone has their own imperfections. Everyone has their own flaws, and we're all perfectly flawed. That's what makes us unique. So with the Page of Swords showing up here again, Suit of Swords representing the element of air, which is all about our thoughts and our communication, the words we speak. Page of Swords is a great communicator. But I'm seeing here, like, look at this page, like looking away, shunning away from the sword. Like there's some kind of hurt involved. And this is magnified with the Queen of Swords because the Queen of Swords is very intellectual, great with her words. But in reverse, it could be that she could be a little bit too harsh, a harsh judge of other people's actions and might say some things that are a little bit harsh. And so look at this, like I am seeing like between the two of them, they just, sometimes whenever things go bad between them, the Queen of Swords, says some things, they say some things that are harsh, and then it like makes the other person shun away. And then with the Three of Wands here in reverse, talking about there being a lack of opportunity, it makes it seem like once like this, like these harsh words are exchanged to one another, it's like they kind of shut down, or maybe one party, one side, one person in this partnership shuts down and just doesn't want to talk anymore. Like they're just like, you know what, I'm done. Like you've already said some things that are hurtful, so like why am I going to even try again? Why am I going to try and tell you these things if you're just going to be hurtful and malicious and nasty? That's what I'm seeing. And like, the Page of Swords, whenever I was studying this card, talks about someone who can be like, this is very, I feel like this could be Harry Styles. To me, this is Harry Styles, and this could be Olivia Wilde. Like the Queen of Swords is in reverse is Olivia Wilde, and the Page of Swords is Harry Styles. Because from the previous reading, I do remember that the cards that came out, it seemed like Harry just it's hard for him to open up. And so it seems like he starts opening up, but then sometimes whenever they get into arguments, maybe Olivia uses some of the things that he's communicated to her in a harsh, judgmental way, and then he kind of shuns away and is like, you know what, like, why am I going to tell you these things if you're just going to use them to kind of like stab me in the back or hurt me with it and cut me with those words, those things that, I confided in you. And so then it creates this lack of opportunity of them to like connect and continue to communicate honestly, because it seems like Harry's just like, well, like, this is why I don't communicate with people. This is why I don't tell people some of my like deeper thoughts, because sometimes people use it to their advantage and like against me. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Like we are all imperfect, and so like why are you using my flaws against me to make me feel bad is kind of what I'm seeing, and that's what's going on with their connection. So let's get some advice for Harry. Okay, let's get some advice for Harry Styles and this connection between him and Olivia. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Five of Wands. Six of Swords. Ooh. Yeah. It seems like he's already doing what I'm, like the message that I'm getting with Winter. You know, so Winter talks about the closings. You know, it's the longest, or it seems like it's like the longest season of the year because it talks about like finishing chapters, the closings of something, and like emerging and the beginnings of something else. So it seems like Harry Styles' advice is to like whenever they start arguing, whenever they start battling and discussing things out, he just needs to like kind of like just stop. With the Knight of Pentacles here in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse talks about like just like being stagnant or just like not doing much, kind of like standing still. And I feel like with this coming out as some advice for him, he just needs to, whenever things start getting bad and like maybe there's some harsh words that are being exchanged, he just needs to take a step back and stop the conversation right there, or just like pause, not even feel the need to like continue retaliating. He just needs to like just not do anything about that and just like move away from something else. Like with the Six of Swords talking about traveling, this card talks about moving from something bad to something towards something greater. He just needs to like move away from the situation and cool off, like that's a good way to end things, because it seems like, I don't want to say like that it's toxic, but it is kind of toxic, the situation that they're going through. Like no one wants to open up about feelings to someone, and then whenever they start arguing, just bring out all these things, all these flaws and imperfections and use it against them. And that's kind of exactly what's going on here, is what I'm seeing with the cards, is that whenever they start arguing, Harry's advice is to just not even do anything about that, not continue to argue with Olivia, and just move on to something. Maybe go out, get some fresh air, maybe go and go on a little joyride or something, go chill out by the water, something going on that way. Like they could just like stop that argument or stop it before like things continue to get a little bit harsh and like to where he feels like hurt by some words that have been exchanged. So let's get some advice for Olivia. That is interesting though. Okay, let's see. Let's get some advice for Olivia Wilde. The Emperor in reverse. Oof. A little controlling. The Wheel of Fortune. The Three of Swords in reverse. Yeah, this is, I really do feel like she's this Queen of Swords energy in reverse. Me! Yeah, okay. So, her advice in this situation with this Wheel of Fortune coming out and the Emperor in reverse. Normally the Emperor, it's ruled by Aries, and Aries can be a little bit of a hothead, and like they like to be in control, and like Aries is the first sign of the zodiac one, talking about, like me and grounding and being and beginnings of something. So, but in reverse, the emperor can talk about, being a little bit too tyrannical, a little bit over controlling, just wanting to control every single situation. So the advice for Olivia Wilde is like, she needs to not try and control everything, especially when it comes to like between her and Harry Styles. It seems like she just wants to control like the argument. She just wants to be the last one to have the word. And her advice is to, instead of like focusing on like making someone feel bad and saying harsh things once she's in the heat of the moment, she needs to focus on like the positive qualities that Harry has, because we all have positive qualities, and she needs to also like let her positive qualities shine regarding in regards to this card again coming out. Like in when they argue, a lot of her positive qualities kind of just go out the window, because she just bursts into flames and wants to like have the last word. She wants to make all of these points that sometimes like the points are all, like that she makes are all about like flaws, his flaws, his imperfections. Um, and she needs to know that she also has been hurt. She also is damaged. She also is healing, with the Three of Swords here in reverse. Normally, the Three of Swords talks about heartbreak and stuff like that. But in reverse, it could talk about, that there's some healing involved. Like, she is also healing just as much as he is from being hurt, from maybe previous situations, relationships in the past. And she needs to kind of like do some more reflection and know that, like we all are hurt at any stage of our lives. We all have been hurt, and she needs to know that like everyone has good qualities with this Wheel of Fortune. Everyone has good qualities and bad qualities, but she needs to focus more on his good qualities and her own good qualities, because it seems whenever they start arguing, she lets all of this anger out, and it's hard, and she doesn't seem to remember that like she is also hurting, or she is also like scarred, she is also flawed from previous heartbreaks and hurt and pain, and she needs to like do some more reflection on herself and being like, what, like, do I like it when people use my own flaws against me to make me feel bad? No, no one likes that, So she needs to kind of do some reflection on stuff like that. Be like, how do I handle these situations? Was it good that I kind of like lashed out and just brought out a lot of things that were irrelevant to the argument? So that's kind of what I'm seeing. She just needs to do some self-reflection. Harry Styles needs to just kind of like step back and like remove himself from the situation and not like retaliate back, because it seems like she retaliates. She kind of goes in for the jugular. She goes in to like make some harsh statements first, and then so he's like, oh, you want to go that route, and so then he kind of might start doing the same thing too, because he's like, I got a sword too. I can cut you too, like with my words. And so rather than doing that, he just needs to like step out from that situation. That way the argument can end, and and she needs to just focus on herself, being like, what, I'm also flawed, I'm also scarred, but even though I'm also flawed and scarred, I also have great qualities, and so does Harry. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Thanks so much for watching this video. Feel free to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. It makes my little ducky heart happy whenever I get some thumbs ups and people send some comments. It really does make me feel nice that I'm, going in the right direction with this channel. Again, I don't want this channel to be like a channel like about like gossiping and spreading misinformation. I'm just relaying what I'm seeing in the cards. But I also, want this channel to be a learning and growing channel, not only for the people whose cards I'm reading for, but for you and for me. So yeah, with that being said, remember to respect yourselves, respect others, and Feel free to give me some more suggestions on what kinds of videos you would like for me to do next, or like whose cards I should read. And I'll try my best to add them to my to-do list. And that's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.